have panned out. And I think the manufacturing company for Kisara announced that they'll discontinue.
Can you tell us where we are now in the hunt for a vaccine and where we could have been had the HHS leaders made investment decisions sooner that were based on scientific merit?
Right now, there are over 100 different approaches for developing a vaccine for this coronavirus. So we're confident that hopefully, I should say, at least one of those or two of those will work, but you've identified key critical challenges that we need to anticipate and prepare for early. Number one is the supply chain for those vaccines, needed reagents and buffers and salts and various ingredients that go into a vaccine, as well as the glass vials that the vaccines are put into, and needles and syringes, and then a carefully coordinated distribution and administration strategy. We haven't yet gotten to those downstream strategies yet in our government, and I think those are going to become a significant issue down the road if we don't plan for that now.
You know, I've been very critical of administration in terms of their, I call it incompetence with the supply chain, with lack of testing. I'm afraid the same thing's going to happen with vaccines and the distribution. I mean, should I be concerned based on your experience?
Absolutely, sir. We're already seeing those challenges with limited doses of remdesivir, with data that we're getting that remdesivir has some benefit in people. And we have limited doses, and we haven't scaled up production, and we don't have a plan on how to fairly and equitably distribute that drug. If you can imagine the scenario this fall or winter, or maybe even early next spring when vaccine becomes available, there's no one company that can produce enough for our country or for the world. It's going to be limited supplies. We need to have a strategy and plan in place now to make sure that we can not only fill that vaccine, make it, distribute it, but administer it in a fair and equitable plan.
And that's not the case at this point.
We don't have that yet, and it is a significant concern.
Thank you.
I'm kind of hearing that having the sequencing really mattered most, and getting the virus important, but did not set them back in proceeding to get the vaccine development underway.
It's important to understand that the sequence is available. When a sequence is available, some companies with some technologies can get started with that sequence information.
And
you
did
still
they?
are vulnerable because you have another country in their laboratories that post it on the internet or a database of their sequence. So there could still be challenges, especially for national security, about the integrity of that sequence.
I was just going to ask, did they begin efforts at that time once they got the sequence?
The NIH began efforts on a synthetic messenger RNA vaccine candidate. However, without the viruses, you really cannot tell if the neutralizing antibodies elicited by that or your diagnostics or your therapeutics can actually work. You can try to synthesize a virus with a sequence, but it's never going to be representative of the actual virus. And when we're spending billions of dollars on drugs, vaccines, and diagnostics, we want to have the most credible information possible.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The gentleman yields back. Pleasure to recognize the gentleman from